This is episode 110, How to Raise Your It Factor. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Walk with me. So have you ever met somebody that just has it? You know exactly what I mean by it. They just have it. There's something about them that just feels a little bit different. It comes across maybe like a confidence or a certainty or a charisma. And it only takes kind of an instance, maybe even a quick conversation, or maybe even no conversation at all. Maybe just in the proximity, you see them in the room, and it's like that person has it. They just have it. I know we've all met people and had that thought, like, what is it about that person that is attracting me to them? Coming off a great event this past weekend, was out in Kentucky, had a virtual event with our community called The It Factor with special guest Joseph McClendon III, amazing soul, inspiring individual. Those of you that have ever been to a Tony Robbins UPW, you recognize Joseph. He leads a lot of the content there. He's been alongside Tony for nearly 30 years now, a master of psychology. And all weekend long, we had people plugged in from all over the world. And the whole conversation was about it. Finding our it, pursuing our it, unlocking our it, so we can bring our it to the world. And one thing I know for sure is that everyone, and I do mean everyone, as in you by my side today, yes, you listening right now, you have it. You have it. We all have it. The challenge is we're born with it, and sometimes along our journey, along our path, it gets covered up. It gets buried a little. It gets hidden. And I want to have a conversation about how we unlock that it factor in you. What it means, not just conceptually, but literally. The things that maybe we run across that dampen it, that diminish it, that darken it. And the very simple things, the simple shifts we can do to raise it, to unlock it, and to bring your it to the world. And let's talk about it. So what is it? How would you define it? That feeling we've all felt, that scenario I just described, we've all run into. How would you define it? You see, this weekend, we talked about that it is energy. Your energy is your it. And I'm gonna use another word for energy that maybe better describes and that's electricity. Your electricity is your it. Now, I don't just mean philosophically. I'm talking literally right now that everything is energy. Everything is energy. If you break it down to its simplest form, we're gonna go rewind high school science class down to the atom, right, at a molecular level. Guys, at the end of the day, everything is just a bunch of atoms and molecules. And if you remember what those are made of inside the atom is a bunch of positive and negative charges. You might even remember that some of them are called electrons. Listen to the language, right? Electrons, positive and negative. Everything down to a molecular level is energy. If I stop and pick up this rock right here, this rock, right, has a bunch of atoms. It's an energy. You know, I read a fact that if you look down at an atom, 90+% of it is empty space. And if you think those visuals we used to draw as kids, or maybe some of you have kids old enough now, they bring those drawings home, we realize it's empty space. But it's not really empty space. You see, inside that empty space, yes, there's not mass, there's not an object, there's not a structure. But the way these are put together, that empty space is filled with, take a guess, electricity, energy. So if we really simplify all of this, if everything on this planet is made of a bunch of atoms and molecules, if 90+% of all of those atoms are empty space, and that empty space is really filled with electricity, energy, vibration, frequency, then really what we're saying is like 90+% of everything around us is energy, right? Everything is energy. Now, different things have a different amount of energy. Different things have a different amount of electricity. If I go back to that rock example, right, and pick up a rock, the atoms vibrating inside this rock are vibrating at a lower level, at a slower level than maybe if I were to show the trees, the nature, the plants, right? And if we were to look at the anatomy of the trees in nature, although they'd be vibrating or have more energy or electricity than the rock, if we then looked at us, right, each other as individuals, as people, where do you think our energy would be? Where do you think our electricity would be? It would be vibrating at a higher level, at a higher frequency. We have more energy, more electricity. And if we were to take it even deeper, and this is the context of the conversation today, we have a different level of energy or electricity depending on what is going on around us and what is going on within us. In other words, we are not a status quo. We are not a fixed, right, rhythm. We are not a, definitive amount or state of vibration. It is changing all the time. So the bottom line of today's conversation, going back to when those have it, right? The reason they have it is they have a electricity, an energy, a vibration, a frequency that in that moment is at a higher level, maybe than those around them in that conversation or those around them in the room. And the main point of this conversation is it's not the person that is different because you have it, I have it, we all have it. It's just a matter of learning and consciously unlocking it within inside us. That's the concept of the it factor. So here's kind of the bottom line question we can always ask ourselves is, in any given situation, is what I'm allowing around me, what I'm allowing within me? Is it something that is lowering my energy or raising my energy? Is it decreasing my frequency or is it increasing my frequency? Is it lowering my vibration or is it increasing my vibration? And everything is always affecting us for the better or for the worse. And what I love about this conversation, simple to understand, everything is electricity, everything is energy. Energy is either increasing or decreasing. It, to unlock it, to have that it's about raising that energy, and everything in every situation is either helping us or hurting us. And the cool thing about this conversation is we know what those things are. We can feel what those things are. If I were to ask you right now, what are things that you know dampen your light, lower your frequency, decrease your energy? What are the things that come to mind? And you guys, there's certain things that are just, in general, things that cause a lower vibration, things that decrease our energy. Right? And it might start with even things we put into our body, things we consume. Right? If we put any sort of toxins, it's what they are, into our body, it's no question that those toxins are going to lower our electricity. That's why people say alcohol, excessive drinking, right? Hard alcohol, various alcohol, right? We know it lowers our light. It dampens our energy, right? Fast food, processed foods, toxic, literally toxic foods. We put that into our body. How do we feel after? Well, guys, the reason we feel that way is when we consume that, we are literally lowering our vibration. So there's certain things we consume that we know are not good for us, right? Sugar. This one's hard for me because I like sugar. I like sweet. Give me chocolate, anything. I'm in. But guys, sugar, refined sugar, are things that lower our energy, lower our electricity, right? So there's certain things that we consume that we know lower our energy or lower our electricity. When it goes to toxic, it's not just about what we allow within us, but what we allow around us, right? Toxic people lower our energy, lower our frequency. Toxic relationships. When we say negativity, we often refer to it as negative what? Negative energy. That person has negative energy. Listen to the language we use. It's negative energy. Literally, it's something that is lowering our energy. We allow negativity around us. Right? So guys, these are all things that all day long are a part of the world we live. They're things that we allow within us, they're things we allow around us, and they're things that constantly dampen, right, the electricity within us. It also comes down to the thoughts or the internal conversation that we have, right? There's certain emotions, things like doubt lowers frequency. Fear is a low vibration. Envy, jealousy, anger, hate, resentment. As I say these words, think about how you feel, even as I'm saying these words. You can literally feel an energy shift just in saying these words, let alone if you let these emotions end up consuming or circulating inside us, literally casting a wave of lower frequency, negative energy. So there's certain things, guys, especially over the last year and a half, that are happening all around us that are literally lowering our electricity, lowering our vibration, taking it away from you. What other things that you know come into your life, within, around you, that you can feel lower your electricity? Because I would have a conversation with yourself and make a list of the things that are around you right now that you know lower your vibration, lower your frequency. You're aware of. Everything starts with an awareness. You can't make a shift without a level of consciousness. So these questions, this internal dialogue, the list that you can make literally is now a list to heighten or increase your awareness. So when it is in and around you, you can see it, you can stop it, and you can consciously make a shift. What are the things that you refuse to allow around you? You refuse to let lower your light, dampen your energy. And we got to start having less focus on those. Where focus goes, energy flows. You've heard the saying, where focus goes, energy flows. We focus on that, our energy flows down, and we got to make a shift to things that can increase our energy. So let's shift this conversation. Let's shift the energy of this conversation. So the opposite side of that coin, the alternative question, the other list we want to build is what are things that can increase our energy? What are things that literally, right, have a higher vibration, a faster vibration, a higher electricity? Well, again, it can start with things we put within us, starting to eat cleaner, starting to, right, consume, especially things that are green, right? Things that are clean from nature, natural, not processed, right? Water, right? Things we put into our body can obviously raise our vibration, raise our energy. Certain foods, whole foods, superfoods, right? Literally increase your vibration. But not just what we consume, where we can be. What about getting outside? I mean, example right now. How many of you, when you get outside into nature, you feel different? Because we all do. We're meant to be connected. Getting outside in nature, getting around nature, right? Around trees, around greenery is going to increase your vibration. There's a whole philosophy out there around grounding where people say, don't just get outside in nature, but actually connect, actually touch nature. Right? There's a whole movement happening around right now around barefooting, people literally taking off their shoes just so, our skin, our feet can touch the earth. You think of how infrequently we are actually physically touching nature around us, right? We put on our socks, we put on our shoes, we got rubber insulation between us and nature and earth. It wasn't always that way. When was the last time you actually got grounded, got connected, right, with nature around you? You felt it, you touched it, your feet, your hands, right? There's a whole philosophy around that. It increases vibration. And not just nature, right? It might be something like the sun, getting out in the sun, right? Water, that's a big one for me. Guys, I've always been attracted to water. The bigger the water, the bigger the attraction, right? That's why I live near the ocean. The reason why I live near the ocean is because it feels like I need to be close, right? The reason I started surfing at a young age and have done it all my life is I love the energy that it brings. If I'm ever in a low place, in a dismal place, I find myself going to the water, going out for a surf or sitting on the rocks, ocean or lakes. How many of you guys have an attraction for water? There's something about water that raises a vibration. Seeing it raises a vibration, right? Being around it raises a vibration. Being in it raises a vibration. These are things, guys, that I know you feel. I'm not crazy. Like, it is literal. When I say raises a vibration, I mean literally the energy, right, inside you shifts when you are around it. So nature, controlling our environment is a big thing. What else can we do to raise our electricity? How about the attitude that we choose to take, right? Positive perspective raises energy. Movement, moving our body. Why do we say get out and walk? Get out and exercise, right? Moving your body raises energy, right? Any sort of movement. Music, why are we attracted to music, especially certain types of music, right? Why are people forever, right, throughout generations attracted to classical? Because there's certain types of music, guys, that literally raise our vibration. Why has, in my opinion, electronic music, right, exploded over the last few decades, right? Because there's certain energy to it, right? What music do you know that raises your vibration? These are all things we can do we say, change your state. That's why we're in a certain place and we say, go move, go exercise, turn on music, shake your body, right? Smile. The mere act of smiling, changing your face, smiling. Right now, just smile can change your energy. All of these are simple tools that at the core level increase your electricity, right? Increase your electricity. There's also emotions. Just like there's emotions that lower your electricity, there's emotions that increase your electricity, right? Emotions like giving. That's why we say, hey, the greatest level, right, of living is giving. It's being of service, it's contribution, because there's something about the energy of doing something, especially without an expectation. That energy fuels us. It creates an energy, gratitude. We've all heard this stuff. Why do we say, what are we grateful for? Great habits, waking up in the morning or part of your morning routine, ask what you're grateful for. Great habits, keeping a gratitude journal where whether it's daily or weekly, but some sort of frequency, you write down what you're grateful for because the act of gratitude unlocks an electricity, unlocks an energy. Love. You think about how you feel for things and people that you love, your kids that you love, your spouse that you love, your family and friends that you love. Love is a higher vibration. Love is a higher energy. You can feel it. That's why family units are so important. It's not just the relationship, it's the love and the energy that gets created within it. That energy literally helps you vibrate. We've talked in past conversations about how you study the centurions, you study the people that live the longest on planet Earth, you study all the different trends when it comes to lifespan and longevity. And the number one thing is not what you think. It actually isn't diet or exercise or the things we know we should do. The number one thing of people that live past 100, it is actual community, it's actual relationships, it's love. It's that feeling that literally keeps our biology going. Electricity, energy, joy. We talk about joy, we talk about happiness because those emotions, guys, those emotions unlock energy. Creativity. So often we get stuck, especially over the last year and a half in solving, in fixing, constantly reacting, trying to get out of a situation as opposed to creating. A creative energy, guys, is a high vibration. We were created to create. So, guys, I can keep going, but I think you get the gist. All of these are things, whether they're things we consume, things we surround ourselves with, an internal dialogue, emotions we choose. All of these are things that, at the core, increase our electricity. That's why all these tools work. When you talk about a vision or future casting or vision casting of where you want to go, the affirmations, right? All of these tools, what we're doing is we're vibrating at a higher level. We're shifting our energy. We're literally increasing our electricity. You don't have to do all of these things, right? I just gave you a list of a lot. But if we constantly choose a few of them that work best for us, that we feel, guys, we're going to increase our it. We're going to elevate our it. And then it's not about having the conversation of, hey, have you ever met someone that has it? It's you are that person, right, that has it. You are that person in the room that people say, wow, what is it, right? They have it because you know what? We all have it. Problem is we got to make the decisions to stop doing the things that lower it and start doing the things that raise it. So my question for all of you is, hey, do you believe it? Everything that we talked about today, guys, is true on both a scientific or biological level. It's literal, right? But it's also simple. Grab a couple of things we talked about, start doing them, and elevate your energy. Find your it factor. Because once you step into that zone, what's going to end up happening is, yes, you're going to be happier, right? Yes, you're going to have more physical energy. Yes, you're going to have that attraction and that magnetism. And once you start radiating at that level, guys, things just happen easier because everybody wants to be around those that have it. That's what attraction is all about. I'll give you one more view from the top. Sun's out. Beautiful day. Hey, I'll check in with all of you. Which of the list that I just went through resonates most with you? What are some things that you do that you find valuable in raising your electricity? What are some things maybe I didn't mention that you can share with the group so we can add to the list? How many of you are up for the challenge of unlocking your it and sharing it with the world, raising yourself at an electric level? And hey, here's a challenge for all of us to have a knowing, have a belief, have a certainty that it is inside us. And we got to stop the things that are preventing it from getting out. And we got to raise the things that increase our energy, increase our electricity, so we can bring our it to the world. Hope you all have an amazing week. Until the next time we walk together, take care, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @BlakeMallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.